Okay, hello everybody. Another week, another guest, another podcast. So what's cooking? So I'm your host today. We have a guest, Maria. We are going to talk about Maria with about why it matters. Let's say why it matters not to believe that you think that innovation will make its own way through your company. It doesn't work like this. Plus a couple of further insights from Maria. Without further notice, so ENZYME at Work is sponsoring this podcast. The whole goal is about knowledge transfer around collaboration, science, techno and knowledge transfer, as well as entrepreneurship and circular economy. And I'm going to give the word to Maria so that you can introduce yourself. I'm super happy to have you here again. And we go straight into the questions. Thank you, Maria.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you, Sébastien, for inviting me, for giving me the opportunity to speak up on what's on my mind and what's cooking at my side. I'm Maria. I'm a chemist by education. I have focus in nanotechnology and material sciences and was working for several years in various companies from startups up to enterprises on positions related to innovation management. I was also working very closely to the C-level and management positions. This is how I learned about business administration and that there is more beyond strict R&D to the world to bring innovative ideas to the world and to the market. Currently, I'm co-founding the company Arise Innovations with a colleague of mine with a business administration background. We move ourselves along the chain of bringing lab discoveries into financially successful business realms. And we mostly focus on my topics that are nanotechnology and material sciences for life sciences and beyond. But we are also open to any other topics, generally speaking, about innovation anyways. So yeah, this would be my introduction first.
Cool. Thank you much, Maria. So without further ado, so first question, I always ask, let's say this to my guests because it's interesting to have different perspective. What is your definition of innovation? I'm quite interested about it because you are, let's say, a scientist by training. You made your way into the corporate world. Now you're into entrepreneurship. You've been talking about lab to markets. I'm quite interested to know what is your definition.
My definition of innovation is basically improving the current state of the art. So there is more than just innovation in the lab. There is more than just performing reactions and experiments, at least from my point of view. There is always the necessity to check, does the market need it? Will someone buy the product by the end of the day? Is it actually possible to make a scalable product out of the innovation I created in a lab? So I think innovation is more than just reading scientific papers and trying to perform or to make the same things in the lab. It's more of taking an overall look at the topic, at the idea, and what is needed. The thing is that the driving force should be always to try to improve the current situation in any way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maya, about this. So, what's cooking in your space? Why did you come up with this title? Why is this, Maya? Please tell us more.
What I struggle, or what I've observed for the years I've been active in the industry, is that many times there is a lack of understanding that science must be combined with business to get to be successful. So I observe people that struggle in a company to communicate between the scientists or technologists and the business people. This is a very strong problem, and I think there is a lack of understanding on both sides, and that's why a lot of innovation just never see the light of the world. That's one of the problems. The other problem is that I see and I'm actually very worried about is putting innovation in Germany especially when it comes to SMEs, because for some reason, German companies, established companies, but not big enterprises, know that they have to innovate to remain competitive on the market, but German people are somehow scared of change or scared of things that they don't know. So they don't want to invest. And honestly, people, if that continues to be so, you will not survive, because it's a fast-paced world. And just look around, take a look at what is happening in the startup scene, and how many entrepreneurs are trying their way every year in Germany. It's amazing. The ideas are amazing. So much things are happening. And if you just sleep on it, you may not survive.
Okay, wow, that's kind of a very strong statement here, Maria. So, I mean, you have been at the forefront of this. You have been on the corporate side, like we mentioned. Now you're on your own company. You are working a lot with startups. So, okay, so we have this situation right now. So, how can you slowly but surely start to open up, if I may say, to the world, and say, okay, maybe I should put some more time on thinking about how can I still maybe keep up with my market share, or my USPs, or my competitive advantage on the market.
Let's take an example and assume that you have an R&D team in your company that is working there for several years. You are clearly happy with the team, because otherwise they wouldn't be there. Trust them more, because they're mostly creative, open-minded people, and they have ideas. So let them introduce their ideas to you. That's the first step. The other step, stay on the pulse of what technology trends are currently running or coming up. There are so many tools that can be used for free on the internet that you don't need to invest a lot of time in it. Just try to stay updated. And once you did so, you can see the direction you can go into. You can try to analyze. You can also get a professional to get it done for you. That's also not a problem. There are many people providing those services. This would be the first steps, I would say. But the other steps is look for the opportunities to minimize the risks and to mitigate the risks. And one of the great opportunities are fundings, non-dilutive fundings, that you don't have to give up your shares for. You don't risk that much. You just get the money from the state, claiming you're innovative and showing how you can actually improve and what you're improving on the social and economic base. And once you can do it right, you can get money from the state. And this means that you can innovate, you can be in front of everything that's happening right now without having to invest so many financial resources.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
No, very good. I'm going to come back on one point just to dig a little bit deeper into this one. You said trust your R&D team. So I've been working for US company, and I've been working for German company. In the US company, the message to the R&D team, which I was part of the corporate innovation team, was business drives innovation. That was the word. That, like, whatever you do should be driven by a business case coming from business. I've been into German company, which was completely the other way around, where basically R&D had some kind of the lead on whatever was being developed, and the business guy tend to, let's say, try to see if there was a market for it. I'm kind of exaggerating things, but in both cases, I was still lacking a certain sense of freedom to come up with ideas, like you mentioned. So I would really like to know maybe some tips. How do you actually give trust and allow people to come up with ideas in the R&D teams, which they may not have been allowed to or encouraged to in the last year?
The most basic thing would be to just take a deeper look on the work they're doing for you already. Because if they work for you for several years, they provided results in any way. Take a deeper look, take your time, speak to those people, talk to them, because the experience I have made is mostly that, especially in SME environment, The C-level people, they have weekly meeting with their R&D team, or monthly, whatever fits the company. They get updated on what is going on the running projects, and then that's it. They don't give too much attention to what may come up from that in the next step. It's just only update, and then that's it. So I think that's the main point where the problems start.
I like this idea. It resonates a lot. I mean, in both companies, we had what we call this kind of. We had in the US company, it was quarterly R&D meetings where all the R&D guys had to do their PowerPoint presentation in front of the big guys, updates, and that was like this. There was nothing else. It was this guy was usually not going into the labs, not talking to the people, just updates. So I like this idea of having maybe more footprint from the management into the lab. That's somehow what you are saying.
That's how I would name it also. The thing is that I have once worked for a company that actually did it right, because they said, okay, we will meet up once a month with the R&D team, see what's happening, getting updated. But also the R&D team, every single scientist in the R&D team got this task to propose, to create actual project proposal or a business case for a new innovation opportunity once per year. So if you have a team of 10 people and 10 people come to you, you have 10 new ideas per year. And those are the people that are on the forefront of the ground research and basic research, and they are educated, and they are well aware of what is happening in the sciences, because they are reading papers day and night and whatsoever. So trust that they have the ideas, because they know exactly what is happening in your lab. They know exactly what is possible in your lab within the budget. And they know what is happening outside, where they can grab actually the idea in the very, very early stage and then do something out of it. But you have to involve them into the business-related decisions.
Wow, I love that, Maya, because I think one thing that people tend to forget is that researchers, by definition, are creative people.
Yeah.
I mean, they are looking at things, they are trying things. So they are maybe in a company, they are the most creative people you can have.
That is exactly the point, yeah.
Very good point, Maria, on this one. Like that. So do you have any other practical, because I like this, because this is very practical example you give, any other practical advice how to make it work? So have them say, talk to them, go in the lab, have this way to give them opportunity to present new ideas. Any other tips that come from the top of your mind?
From the top of my mind, I would say look for a person that you can either hire or get on a consulting base that can act as a translator between science and business people. Because this is also, as I said at the beginning, it's a struggle. It's not that they don't want to understand each other, they just can't, because it's beyond the scope of their knowledge on or basic understandings. So you have to have scientists that are either very good at bringing complex content into simple ideas, or you need someone who is specialized in that, because there are people trained to do so, who can help. This can also improve your innovation within the company and can help you stay up to date compared to the competitors.
That's a very strong thing. So I fully agree on this one. I've had a lot of discussion about this topic. Remind me of, I was in Delft some months ago, TU Delft, which is a very well-known technical university.
Yeah, I know them.
And there was this Italian lady, like a PhD in whatever topic, and she became a CEO of a company. Mm-hmm. And she said at the beginning, he said, you cannot imagine how much time it took me to make my idea understandable to my team, to my stakeholders. But it's so key to articulate our scientific ideas into a language that can become understandable by everyone, because from that moment you can bring people on board. They understand you. They say, oh, okay, that's what you want to do. And it's so important. And I think one of the ways that you can do this, again, being very practical, is about maybe talking about entrepreneurship to your teams, R&D team, business team, is that entrepreneurship, so that, because in entrepreneurship, by definition, you need, one of the things is that you need to pitch your idea in a very short and condensed way that everybody can understand. So maybe this is a way to build this kind of skill, because for me, it's a very important skill to talk to each other and translate one way of business to tech and tech to business in one way.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ideas. Yeah, and it's important one. So
yes, agree with you. Fully agree with you. Talking about this, just a small aparté. I met recently with a company where they even push it even further. They have internal venture builder, where the tech guy or the business guy, they can go to that person inside the company that is helping them to build their business case. And if it's working out, find the funding and create a venture inside the company. I think that's the right thing. We are slowly going towards the end of the podcast, Maria. What I would like to hear from you is, we have a situation, we have some tips, we have some kind of sense of urgency based on what you said at the beginning. We need to act, guys. How do you see your space? How do you see these topics in 5 years from now?
In Germany, struggling. Globally, not so much. What I would like to say as a takeaway message, maybe, don't be afraid to take risks. Because if you don't take risks, you can't be successful. Because if you could get to be successful without risking something, then everyone would be right away, like born with it. But it's not possible. So don't be afraid to take risk, and don't be afraid to have a look beyond your job description. That's the main message. I don't say that you have to start working over hours day and night and whatsoever, but it's just like, try to have more understanding or be more open-minded towards disciplines that maybe you're not very familiar with, but they can get you somewhere. And as I said, there are many possibilities, at least in Germany or in Europe, to minimize risks and to mitigate and to approach a proper risk assessment. Everything's possible. And if you don't have that within your company, get external help or hire someone. It's just that easy. Sometimes not even a full-time position, but it helps a lot. Yeah. So to get back to your question, I see the problem, especially in German SMEs, that if they don't follow up with the innovation, they might die. I don't know, it's within the next 5 years, or rather to say within the next 10 years, but it is happening. And this is too much happening outside of your own walls that you don't want to see or don't want to recognize, that you're missing out on amazing opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be afraid to take risks. That's the main point.
Yeah, fully agree with you. So in my word, I said, when I had my own startup, I was saying to the team, we should. It was in the value, actually, the value of Postula. I was said appetite for risk. I wrote it down in the value of it's because appetite is only could be say, okay, let's test something like baby steps. Let's just take this, and then you create some appetite. Oh, you know what? It's working. Let's wrap it up.
That's the point, exactly. Yeah. So fully agreed with you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Maria, for these words. So we are at the end of the podcast. So what I would like to say, first of all, is thank you for the people that are going to listen to this podcast. It's great to have people that are looking at it, learning from it. I would like to thank you, Maria, for your time, sharing your knowledge. I mean, this is all about this podcast, is sharing knowledge on a very practical basis. That was it's short and to the point. So I really appreciate this. What I would like also to say to the audience is, feel free to go and to ask questions to Maria about lab to market, about academic to entrepreneurship, about grants. I mean, Maria is very, very versed into these topics. She can very much help you, let's say, to frame your idea, to work on the value proposition, and to get grants even further. So go after Maria and Arise Innovation Consulting and the team, doing a very good job. And we are going to see you next week. It's going to be another podcast, another guest. It's going to be again interesting. So Maria, vielen Dank. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It was a great pleasure and happy to see you next time.
Cool.
Bye-bye.